Hello, my name is Sherman Cox II of SoulPreaching.com. I wanted to answer a question that came through on the SoulPreaching.com website. I presented an article that was entitled "Preach Something Significant." Preach something significant. Many individuals saw this and saw it as a needful corrective to a lot of the kinds of preaching that's going on right now that is not really significant, something that matters. And one of the questions that came in was, should we preach something significant when the senior pastor, this was an associate minister who was asking the question, when the senior pastor does not pull out the belt and whip the members, am I to pull out the belt and whip the members when the senior pastor doesn't pull out the whip, the belt and whip the members? And I think there's a couple of things. There's a misconception in this particular question about preaching something significant. The big misconception is preaching something significant is not necessarily whipping the people. It might include some corrective, but it may not include some corrective. Preaching significant does not necessarily mean whipping the people. I would encourage you to look at some of my other videos where I actually speak about this, that there's some preachers that's all they do is whip their members over and over and over again. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about preaching something that matters beyond how much money I'm going to have in my pocket, beyond planting a seed so that I can get rich. No, I'm talking about the God's kingdom. I'm talking about preaching about God's kingdom. I'm talking about preaching how I can become a member of God's kingdom. That ain't necessarily whipping. It might include whipping, but it doesn't necessarily. How I can become a member of God's kingdom is a piece of preaching something significant, preaching God's kingdom. How does being a member of God's kingdom affect my living? How does being a member affect ethics or how I live today? That's another. These are more things. How can I become a member? How does it affect my living? What difference does it make that I'm in this kingdom? How does it affect how I treat other folk? How does it affect how I treat those who are on the outside? How does it affect how I vote? How does it affect what I buy? How does it affect how I live? A Christianity that doesn't affect any of these things ain't worth nothing. And that's the question that I'm saying, is that preach something significant. You don't have to whip the people. Yes, it sometimes may include whipping the people, but even if you're not whipping the people, you can tell them about what does it mean to live in the kingdom. How does it mean, how does it affect my living? And that is what I'm talking about, to preach something significant. Preach the word. Stop preaching all of these other things just because somebody else preaches it. Stop preaching these other things just because it's on television and because the popular preachers are preaching it. Stop preaching it because you think you need to do this to move up to the next level. No, preach something significant, even if it means that you will not be moving up into that other church, even if it means that you may not get everything that you think that you should get. Preach the word. Preach something significant. And that's what I was seeking to present in that particular message. not necessarily whipping the folk, definitely not always whipping the folk, but there is a sharp edge to this, preaching God's kingdom. Until next time, this is Sherman Haywood Cox II. Please visit us at soulpreaching.com. God bless you and keep on preaching.